Hi, everyone. Good morning, and thanks for joining us for our third class of our Stretch and Strengthen Low Impact Exercise class. Just before we start today, I'm going to just remind you about the Super Walk, which I know I've been talking about in the last couple of weeks, but I've pinned to the top of the chat box again today with the website for Super Walk. If anybody is interested, you can feel free to click on that after our class today. So hopefully you can all hear me and you can all see me. If you would like to locate the chat box, it should be on your right-hand side. If you're on a computer, it should already be popped up. If you don't see it, it might be in a little icon at the bottom of your screen where it's sort of like a circle and it's got a chat box picture on it. You can click on that and that should open up the chat box as well. So if at any point today you would like to ask any questions, you can feel free to type in the chat box. I'm going to be exercising with you, so of course I won't be able to read the questions or comments as I'm doing the class, but I do have my lovely colleague Amy here today who is going to be helping us monitor the chat box if you did have any questions, and she can do her best to answer those questions. So great to see you back, and I hope you've enjoyed the last 2 weeks. Today, we're going to be building on some of the skills that we learned in the last 2 weeks and work into a little bit more of weight shifting, a little bit more balanced type activities as we stand up today. If you are new to today's class, our Stretch and Strengthen Low Impact class always starts in sitting, and then we gradually move to standing, or if you would like to stay seated for the entire class, that's absolutely fine as well. You'll see that I've got a platform set up behind me. So we'll start in sitting, and ideally, if you can start sitting in a chair without any armrests, that would be best. It's just so that way when we start moving, you're not going to accidentally hit your elbow or hit your arm on the armrest. But of course, by all means, if you are only comfortable in a chair with armrest, you can absolutely sit in a chair with armrest as long as you're just a bit mindful so that you're not going to accidentally hurt yourself as we're moving around in the class today. Okay, so take it at your own pace. Feel free to pause and have a rest when you need. The class will be relatively slow paced, so definitely take breaks as you need if you feel like it's still a little bit too quick for you. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to move back into my seat and hopefully you can hear me and see me. Okay, so if at any point in the class you find it a little bit tough to hear me or your screen is frozen, what you can do is you can try to refresh the page on the browser because for some reason on this platform sometimes when there's a lot of people on it, it does freeze a little bit. So if you refresh the page, it tends to do the trick. Okay. So we're going to start in sitting, and like always, we're going to start with having a nice posture when we're sitting by having our feet flat on the floor, maybe a little bit apart, so we don't want the legs completely together. We want them to be a little bit apart, and you're going to shuffle to the front of your chair so that way we can sit upright and we're not slouching on anything. We're going to sit nice and tall on our sits bones to start with. And we're going to think about elongating our spine towards the ceiling, almost like if your head was a helium balloon and it's floating up towards the ceiling. We're going to drop the arms by our side, and we're going to start with some deep breaths and some gentle movement of the arms. So we're going to take a breath in, reach the arms up, open the chest towards the ceiling, and then you're going to bring the arms back down. So breath in to open. And breath out to release. If you're finding this a little bit sore on your shoulders, don't worry. You don't have to reach the arms all the way up. You can reach the arms forward and still open the chest and bring the arms back down. So whatever you're comfortable with, whether that's lifting the arms all the way up overhead, or if you just want to bring it forward and back down again. Let's do 2 more here. One last one. Good. And now we're going to reach the arms to one side, almost like you're holding onto a big beach ball, stretching the side of your body, and then bring yourself back to the middle. Same thing, other side. So again, if this is a little bit sore on your shoulders, you don't have to reach up and overhead. Just reach as far as you're comfortable, or you can reach out in front of you towards the side, as long as you're reaching your arms in opposition to the side that you're stretching. Good. Other side again. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall, even though you're arching over to one side. Let's do one more on each side. Really feeling that stretch on the side of your torso. One more. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reach the arms forward, clasp the hands together, and then we're going to reach the arms up overhead if you can. If you can't, you can cross your arms across the chest. And what we're going to do here is we're going to sit up nice and tall. Keep our torso as long as possible. And we're going to imagine we're holding a flashlight in our hands and we're shining the flashlight up at the ceiling. And we're going to use our torso to try to draw a big circle in the ceiling without losing our balance. You're thinking about that flashlight you're holding in your hands, and you're using the entire body to draw some circles in the ceiling. If your arms are by your chest, that's fine. You can think about the same thing, except imagine the flashlight is attached to the top of your head and you're using the top of your head to draw that circle, as long as it's not just our head moving, right? It's our entire body drawing that circle. And you want to see how big you can make that circle without losing your balance, holding your trunk muscles nice and strong as you're drawing the circles. Good. We'll do two more here, and then we'll switch directions. So remember, your arms can either be crossed in front of your chest or up overhead. Good. Let's go in the other direction. I'm just going to move my arms back up if this is the version that you're doing, or you can keep your arms folded across the chest. Thinking about using the entire body to make this circular movement. Notice how my spine is still nice and long, even as I'm moving. So I'm not doing this, right? I'm not crunching through my spine, but I'm keeping my back nice and straight, sitting nice and tall over the sit bones as I draw the circles. Let's do two more here. Good, that's it. One last one. Good, and relax. We're going to sit up nice and tall over our sit bones and float the arms forward in front of us. We're going to do some rows with our arms to work on the back muscles across our shoulder blades. So we're going to do wide rows. Our arms are forward, shoulders down away from the ears, and we're going to pull the elbows back and squeeze our shoulder blades together. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and forward again. That's it. Let's do that again. Elbows back, squeezing those shoulder blades together for 3, 2, 1, and forward. That's it. Making sure we're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears as we're doing this. Good. Should feel quite nice in your upper back and in your shoulder blades to give you that nice extension movement. Good. Let's do two more here. Squeezing back, squeeze those shoulder blades together and bring them forward. Good. Two more. That's it. And forward, making sure our neck is nice and long. We're still sitting up nice and tall. Squeezing 3, 2, 1, forward, and rest the arms. Okay, we're going to place our hands on our hips, and we're going to warm up the legs. So we're going to still be sitting up nice and tall. You can shuffle back a little bit in your chair if you'd like, if you feel like you're too forward in the chair. And we're going to lift one knee up off the chair, and then you're going to push the foot forward, almost like you're showing me the bottom of your foot. We're going to lift back up and lower the leg. Good. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to lift the knee up. We're going to push the foot forward, lift the knee back up, and lower down. Good. We'll do that again. Lift the knee, push the heel forward, lift the knee, and lower the leg back down. Good. Feel free to do this at your own time. It does not have to be the same speed that I'm doing. If you would like to speed it up or slow it down, that's absolutely fine. As long as we're still sitting up nice and tall, we're not losing our height as we're picking up the knee, right? And we're making sure that our movement is nice and strong. We're not losing our balance as we're doing this movement. Good. Let's do one more, and then we're going to add the arms. That's it. Good. This time, you're going to add the arms. As you push the leg out, you're going to push the opposite hand out, spreading the palm nice and wide, spreading the fingers, and then lifting it back in. Same thing on the other side, pushing with the opposite hand, spreading those fingers nice and wide, and bringing it back in. Good. Let's do 4 more. 4. Sitting up tall. 3. Good. Last 2. Pushing that hand forward, spreading the hand. Good. Last 1. That's it. Good. And rest. Good. Okay. We're going to do a bit of an inner thigh stretch. There's 2 ways we can do this. The first way we're going to do is we're going to separate our legs as wide as we're comfortable, and we're going to sit up as tall as we can over our sit bones. From here, keeping your spine nice and straight, we're going to hinge forward at the hips. Just go as far as you can. When you feel a stretch in your inner thigh, you can hold that position there with the spine nice and long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we come back up. Good. Let's do that again. Sitting up nice and tall, hinging forward at the hips, keeping your spine long, feeling that stretch on the inner thigh. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Good. This time, we're going to straighten one of our knees out to the side if you can. I know it's a little bit hard to straighten our knee when we're sitting in a chair, but just do your best. One leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sit up nice and tall, keep our spine straight. This time we're going to hinge to the bent knee. We're going to hinge forward to the bent knee so you feel a stretch on one side. So same stretch, we're just biasing one side. Good. And then we come back up and bring the leg in. Same thing, other side. Straightening that knee if you can. Keeping the spine nice and long. We're going to hinge forward to the bent knee to feel a stretch on the inner thigh of the straight leg. Hold it for a few seconds. And then we're coming back up. Good. Bring your legs back in. Okay. We're going to float our arms up to a T shape like so. And you're going to sit nice and tall over your sit bones, and you're going to twist your upper body. You're twisting, leading with your breastbone to the side of the room. So you're twisting through the trunk without losing our height, right? So we want to stay nice and tall. Think of that helium balloon as a head, reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. You're twisting and hold. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, coming back to the middle. So you're almost imagining you're balancing something on top of your head as you're twisting. So we're not losing our height. We're keeping nice and still, nice and tall in our spine as we're twisting. Good. One more each side. Nice and tall. Twist leading with the breastbone. Good. That's it. Back to the middle. One more time the other side. Good. And rest the arms. Okay. We're going to bring our legs in together, or as close in together as you're comfortable. They don't necessarily have to be touching, but you want them as close together as possible. You're going to curl your body forward into a ball. So you're thinking about curling your body into as small of a ball as you can over your legs. And then from here, you're going to reach out and open as wide as you can, extending one of your legs out. Noticing my hands and fingers are spread nice and wide. And then you're coming back into as small of a ball as you can be. Really curl yourself over your legs. And then you're going to lift the other knee and reach open with those arms as wide as you can be. Good. Coming back in. Let's do 6. Curl into a ball as small as we can. Then we're going to reach up and open as wide as we can be. That's it. And reaching all the way back in, as small as you can. And then we're reaching out as big as you can be. That's it. And all the way back in. 4 more. Here we go. Last 4. And back in. Good. Last 3. Opening the chest, opening the arms, spreading those fingers. Last 2. As big as you can, opening those hands. Last 1. Good. And rest. Okay. Now, for those who would like to stand, we're going to do a couple of our sit to stands to prepare ourselves. And for those who would like to stay seated for the rest of the class, all you're going to be doing is you're going to place your hand down on the chair or the armrest, and you're going to practice some bum lifts. So we're going to practice transitioning our weight here. Your feet should be about hip width apart. You're going to imagine someone's pulling you forward by your t-shirt, and you're leaning forward so that your chest is over your feet as far forward as possible in order to hover your bottom off the seat. And then you're going to lower back down and sit nice and tall. So we're going to really control this movement, leaning forward. Imagine someone's yanking your t-shirt forward so your chest is way over your feet. You want to bring the center of gravity over your feet and then lower back down. So if you want to stay seated for the rest of the class, this is where you're going to be. You're going to keep doing these bum lifts. If you want to stand up for the rest of the class, we're going to do the same thing except transition to standing. So again, imagine someone's pulling your t-shirt forward and you're leaning forward, bringing your chest over your feet, so far over that you actually shift your entire weight over your feet, and then you're going to push your feet into the floor, squeezing your bum cheeks together, pushing the pelvis forward to stand up. And then from here, we're going to sit back down, bend those knees, stick the bottom back, chest forward over your feet, and we sit back down. Nice and slow. So we're going to keep going. We're going to do our sit to stands. We're going to try to go for 10. Nice and tall, squeezing your bottom cheeks forward, and then leaning forward to sit back down. Good. So again, you can do your bum lifts if you want to stay seated. Here's 9. Push into the floor, squeeze your bum cheeks forward, and then we sit back down. That's it, nice and slow. It's harder if you do it slower. Here's 8. Push into the floor, stick those bottom cheeks forward, push the pelvis forward, and then we sit back down, chest forward. Good, 7 left. So really important here that we try our best not to use momentum if possible, just so we can work on the strength here to do the stand. 6 left. Pushing the floor away from you, sticking the bottom forward. Good. 5 left. So if you're sitting, you're just hovering the bottom like this and down. Good. 4 more. Nice and slow, making sure extending nice and tall when you stand, and then come back down. Good. 3 more. So notice here, I'm straightening my hips all the way, so I'm not stopping here. I'm extending my hips even more and coming down. Good. 2 more. Pushing the floor away from you, standing tall. Good. Leaning the chest forward to sit. 1 last one. Lean forward. Push the floor away from you. Straightening those hips. Push the pelvis forward. And we sit back down. Good. Okay. Have a rest. So for the last half of our class, we're going to be doing our exercises in standing, but of course, if you would like to sit, I will show you modifications. So I'm going to show you the first exercise we're doing in standing first, and then I'll sit back down and show you how to do the one in sitting. Okay, so our feet are going to start about hip width apart. We're going to do some weight transferring practice. You're going to bring one of your legs forward. Doesn't matter which one, we'll do both. You're going to bring one of your legs forward and you're going to do a mini lunge. So you're lunging forward on that leg and then you're pushing back with that leg to come back to the middle. Same leg, you're going to step out to the side, lunge, so bending that knee, putting your weight on that leg, and then you're pushing yourself back to the middle. And then we're going to go same thing backwards. You're stepping back, putting your weight on that back leg, and then you're pushing yourself back to the middle. And then we do the same thing on the other side. Step forward, lunge, bending that knee, pushing that leg back to the middle, and then out to the side. You're stepping out, pushing your way into that leg, and then bringing yourself back to the middle. Same thing backwards. You're going back, you're leaning backwards, and then you bring yourself back to the middle. Okay, so we go forward, side, back on each side. So if you're sitting down, what you're going to be doing is a little bit different. So you're going to bring your leg forward and you're going to lean your body over that leg as far as you can, and then you're pushing that leg back to the middle. Same thing to the side. You're leaning your body over that leg as far as you can, and then you bring it back. Okay, and then we don't do the one backwards because we can't do that in sitting. You repeat the same thing on the other side, leaning forward, bring the leg back to the middle. To the side, you're leaning your body weight to the side, and then back to the middle. So if you're sitting, you're going forward and side, okay, on both sides. Okay, let's try this. We're going to try it without adding in the arms. So your arms can just relax wherever they like. Let's just do the legs first, okay? So whether you're sitting or standing, you can follow along. Here we go. We're going to lunge forward, bend the knee, putting your weight on that leg, and then you're going to push your weight back into the middle. Same thing to the side. Stepping to the side, bending that knee, and then you push yourself back to the middle. Same thing backwards. You step back, lean your weight to that back leg, and then you push yourself back to the middle. Other leg. Lean forward and push yourself back to the middle. That's it. Lean to the side and then push yourself back to the middle. Good. Now to the back. Lean to the back, put your weight on that leg, and then push yourself back. Okay, we're going to add the arms. We're going to bring the arms forward. We're going to step forward, push ourselves back to the middle. And then when we go out to the side, we're going to open the arms, lean into that leg, and then push yourself back to the middle. Arms forward again. When we step back, we're leaning back into that leg and then pushing back to the middle. Same thing, other side. Arms stay forward as you're stepping forward and you're pushing back to the middle. Open the arms as we're stepping out to the side and pushing back to the middle. Close the arms forward as we're stepping back. So basically, your arms are only moving from this position to this position, back to this position. So when you go forward and backwards with your legs, your arms are forward. When you go sideways with your legs, your arms are forward. It's a little bit of a coordination on this one. Let's try it again. Step forward, really put your weight on that leg, and then push back. So remember, we're practicing our weight shifting here. Of course, you don't have to open your legs and step out quite as wide as I'm doing. Feel free to do little steps if you would like, as long as we're transitioning our weights. Good. Trying to keep your chest up if you can, up nice and tall as you're doing these movements. Really feel your weight shifting. Good. To the back. One more on the other side. Good. And rest. Good. Well done. Okay. Our next one, we're going to try to hold on to a wall or hold on to a table or something near you, because this one is going to be a little bit more challenging for your balance. If you're sitting down, you're just going to hold on to your chair, okay? So let me show you. You're going to hold on to something. So let's say I've got my wall. You're going to do some donkey kicks. You're going to take one of your legs. You're going to bend the knee up, and then you're going to kick the leg back, leading with your heel. So you're bringing the knee up, and you're kicking with your heel backwards, like this, okay? So we're going to do 10 of them on each leg. So it's called a donkey kick, as you can imagine. If you're on a farm somewhere, if you see any animals kick before, this is sort of the pattern that we're aiming for. You're leading with your heel. If you're sitting down, we of course can't kick backwards because you're in a chair, but we're going to do the same thing going forward. So you're going to lift the knee, and then you're going to kick the leg forward without the thigh touching down, right? So if I go sideways, it looks like this. See, I'm lifting my knee, kicking it out. Can you see that my thigh is not down on the chair? I'm still keeping it lifted, and then you bring it in. So you lift up the knee, kick the leg forward without the thigh touching the chair, okay? So you either kick forward, or if you're standing, you kick back, okay? We're going to do 10 of them together on one leg, and then we're going to switch to the other leg. Are we ready? Okay, let's try it. We're going to bend the knee. We're going to kick the leg back, leading with the heel. That's 1. Come back up. Here's 2. Good. Keeping that chest up if you can, nice and tall. 3. So we're really working into the back of our leg here. 4, which will help us stand up a little bit taller. 5. Good. Really leading with the heel, striking something behind you with your heel. 6. 7. 8. 2 more, you can do it. 9, that's it. Last one, we're gonna hold it here and pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. You can shake out your legs, give yourself a little rub or a pat if you like. You should be feeling it at the back of your legs and into the back of your bottom muscles. Okay, let's try the same thing on the other side. We're going to lift that knee up, and then we're kicking back with the heel, so leading with the heel. Good. 9 more. We have 8. 7. 6, really squeezing your bottom muscles to kick. 5, almost there. 4, 3, 2, last one. You're gonna hold it here. We're gonna pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Shake out those legs if you like. Well done. Okay, we're gonna do a bit of a stretch for the back of the legs after doing that. So we're going to bring one leg forward, bend one of our knees, and we're going to do a breaststroke forward over that leg and stand back up. So we've done this one before in the previous weeks, except before we were doing more of a sweep like this. But today we're doing more of a breaststroke. So let me go sideways so you can see me. You bend one leg, straighten the other one forward, hinging back with your hips, chest nice and straight through the spine, leaning forward, breaststroke arms, coming back up, switching sides, straighten the knee, lean forward to feel a stretch at the back of the thigh there, and stand back up. If you're sitting down, same thing. You're straightening one of those legs, leaning forward and back up. So you should feel a stretch at the back of the thigh. Good. Let's try for 8. Good. 7. 6. So you can lean as far forward as you feel comfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good, and rest. Well done, everybody. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a weight shift transfer again. We're gonna bring our legs nice and wide this time, wider than your hip width apart. And all we're gonna do here is we're gonna do mini transfers with our legs by doing some squats. So you can start with your hands on your hips, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend down into a squat, straighten up to one leg. You're gonna bend down into another squat, transfer your weight over to the other leg. So you notice how here, my heel has come off the floor. You can notice my heel has come up the floor, but by all means, you don't need to do that. You can keep the heels on one side. You can keep it down if you like, but it's a little bit easier if you can lift the heel up. So we're really working on going in the middle, transferring our weight. So it's almost like you're drawing a U shape, the letter U, with your upper body. So you're drawing the letter U with your upper body, okay? And as we're doing that, we're gonna add the arms. Drop the arms by our side. So we're gonna draw the U shape, and as you go to one side, you're going to reach the arm up overhead or forward if your shoulders are not so good with overhead reaches. And then we come back down to the middle and we reach to the other side again. So we go down to the middle, reach over, feeling that stretch on one side of the body, squatting down again, bottom back, and reaching up and over. Now, if you're sitting down, we're gonna do the same thing. Legs wide, we're going to be using our upper body to draw a U shape. So you start on one side, you draw a U shape to one side and reach the arm up overhead or forward, depending on how your shoulder feels. And then we draw U to the other side and reach the arm up overhead or forward. drawing a U shape. So the letter U with your upper body like so. Okay, so we're moving through our squat into a stretch. We're going to try to do 10 together. Here we go. 1. Good. Really feel that squat and stretch. It's all connected in terms of the movement. You're thinking continuous movement if you can. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Reaching the arm across, feeling that stretch. Here's 6. Good, well done. Here's 7. See how far you can reach, really stretch. Here's 8. Good, you've got 2 more. 9. Last one. 10. And rest. Good, you can shake out your arms, shake out your legs if you like. Get a drink of water if you need. Have a rest. I'm going to show you our next exercise while you're having a bit of a break. So our next one, we're going to imagine where we're little toy soldiers with no elbows, and we're going to be really stiff in our upper body. So I'm going to turn sideways for this one so you can see me. Let me show you the legs first. So how this is going to go is one of your legs is going to step forward, step back, step forward, step back. So notice my other leg here is on the spot, is not moving. So one of my legs is not moving. The foot is planted into the floor as my moving leg goes forward and back. Okay, so that's the movement here. And what we're going to add here is we're going to add the arms. You're going to imagine you're like a toy soldier. Your arms are very stiff. You're going to step forward and bring the opposite arm forward. So here I've got opposite arm to leg forward. And then you're going to step back, opposite arm and leg here, opposite arm and leg. And again, we're stepping forward, stepping back. That's the movement, okay? So we'll see if we can do one side for 10, and then we'll practice the other side. Now, if you're sitting down, we're going to do this a little bit differently. Sitting down, you're going to straighten one of your knees. You're going to keep this knee straight, and we're going to just do the arms. So notice here how my arms have to be a little bit wider in order to not touch the chair. But you're keeping your elbows straight, and you're swinging the arms in opposition while keeping this leg off the floor. Okay? And then we'll switch to the other side and do the same thing. Swing those arms, keeping that leg off the floor. Okay? Okay, let's try to do 10 on each side. So you can choose what side you want to do. We'll do both. Okay, here we go. 1. 2. So you really want to hold your balance. We're just practicing transferring our weight. 3. 4, keeping your spine nice and long, standing nice and tall. 5, elbows straight if you can. 6, good, that's it. 7, so essentially you're feeling your weight transfer forward and backwards. 8, don't forget the back arm, so your back arm should be swinging as well. 9, last one. 10, good, and we switch to the other side. Okay, are we ready? We're going to do 10 with the other leg moving now. Here we go. 1, 2, So again, keeping your spine nice and long if you can. 3. Transferring that weight forward and backwards. 4. 5. Good, that's it. 6. 7. 8. Trying to keep those elbows straight if you can. 9. Last one. 10. And rest. Good. Feel free to shake out your legs or shake out your arms if you like. I'm going to do a little bit of a torso stretch after that to release some of the tension you may have built up. We're going to have our feet about hip width apart. Rest your arms by your side, palm facing forward. We're going to take a breath in, behind the head, and breath out. Again, breath in, and breath out. This time, as we breathe in, we're going to rotate our chest to one side and breath out to return. Good. Breath in, bend those knees, fold the arms behind the head, turn the body, and return to our starting position again. Let's do 6 more. Good. Nice and gentle, using your breath to help you with the stretch. 5. Good. Here's 4. 3. 2. Good. Last one. And rest. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch for the lower part of our calf, and we're going to go towards a wall or a door or a table or something you can hold on to. Even back of a chair is absolutely fine. And what we're going to do here is we're going to bring one leg behind and one leg forward, like so, okay? You're going to bend into your front leg, keep the back leg nice and straight, reaching that heel towards the floor to feel a stretch in the back of the calf, okay? If you're sitting down, we're going to do this in a different way. You're going to straighten one of your legs, and then you're going to pull the toes up towards you as far as you can with the leg straight. You can press that leg down if you want at the knee, and you should feel a stretch at the back of the calf if you lift the toes up as far as you can. Okay, same thing on the other side. So we're going to hold it here. If you're standing, you're reaching that back heel to the floor as the front leg is bent. See if we can hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to switch legs. Other side. Reach that heel back. We're going to hold it here. Bending the front knee, reaching the back heel down into the floor to feel that calf stretch. Or if you're sitting down, you're pulling those toes up. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, next we're going to stretch the front of our thigh. So again, you can hold on to something. If you're standing, you're going to use a chair behind you. You're going to place your foot on a chair behind you. Knees should be in line. Push the hips forward to feel a stretch at the front of the thigh. Or if you're very flexible, you can always hold onto your foot and pull it towards your bottom. But if you like, using a chair is perfectly fine. Now, if you're sitting down, this is a little bit more tricky, but what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle forward in your chair as far as you can. You're going to step one of your foot back towards the chair as far as you can, and then you're going to drop that knee down. You're going to lean back, drop that knee, pointing it towards the floor. Let me turn sideways so I can show you. So imagine I'm sitting on the chair sideways, and I'm going to bring one leg back. I'm going to drop the knee to the floor as far as I possibly can and lean back to stretch the front of my thigh. Okay, so that's the way you would do it in sitting down, or in standing. You place the leg behind and push your hips forward as far as you can. Okay, let's switch legs. And again, we're going to push those hips forward as far as you can to feel a stretch at the front of the hip and the front of the thigh. If you're standing, if you're sitting down, you're reaching one knee down to the floor and leaning back. Good. And rest. Okay. Legs nice and wide, arms down by our side. We're going to push our hip to one side and reach the arms over to the opposite side. And we're going to come back to the middle. You're pushing your hip out to the side and reaching the arms to the opposite side and coming back to the middle. If you're sitting, same thing. You're going to push your hips to one side and reach to the other side to stretch the outside of your torso. And same thing on the other side. Pushing your hip to one side, reaching the arms as far as you can, and then opening the arms back to the middle. Let's do two more. Reach the arms as far as you can. That's it, well done. And back to the middle. Last one. Reach those arms to the opposite side to where the hip is pulling. And back to the middle. Good. Going to bring our feet in slightly. We're going to do some deep breath here. We're going to sweep our arms down, breath in. And out. And again, breathing in and out. Good. Let's do two more. If your arms are sore, you can open the arms forward rather than up overhead. One more. And breath out as you're stretching back and rest. Good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for week 3 of Stretch and Strengthen, our low impact exercise class. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to type it in the chat box. I'll come forward so I can see. So next week is session 4, and that's going to be our last class of the series. So if you did have any questions or comments or feedback about the class, we would love to hear from you, and it can help us streamline our classes a little bit better in the future. And I did forget to mention as well at the beginning that the series is recorded, so it will go onto our website and our YouTube channel. We usually aim to get it out there about a week after the series ends, but I know some of you have been emailing about the recordings a bit earlier, so I've been trying to put them on our website within a few days of the class ending. So I'll try my best to add this one to the YouTube channel as well. So if you did want to revisit the class at any point, you can look on our website or our YouTube channel. And if you're not sure where that is, you can drop us an email at info@parkinson.bc.ca, and we can always direct you to the link. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I see some great comments. Thank you for joining. There are no questions so far, but if you did think of any questions, you can feel free to email me at the same email address that Amy kindly just put up on the chat box. Hopefully you guys can see the chat box. It should be on your right-hand side, or if not, it might be a little icon circle at the bottom of your screen that has a chat box picture, and if you click on it, it should open up as well. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place for our last session of the series. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to check out the Superwalk website, which is at the top of the chat box. Great. You're very welcome. Thank you for the lovely comments. Bye, everybody. See you next week.